Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back to my channel. This is Rob, and I'm here to do just a little video based on the knowledge that we all got last night during Talking Dead, which is that Morgan, played by Lenny James, is going to be the crossover character for Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead. And I had a thinking about it. Like, first off, I was really surprised that it was Morgan, but now that I've done some thinking about it, I have a theory about why it's Morgan. Now, it could be nothing. It could be something. There are people that have talked about this a long time ago, and it could be something to think about, potentially for why they picked Morgan. So if you don't want to know my theory, it could hold, if it comes true, this could be a spoiler. Uh, it might not be, but it's just, with all the speculation that goes on, I usually don't speculate too far in advance for things like this, but I feel like I might have something here, I might not. So I'm going to tell you, this is from here on out, I'm going to tell you something that might happen and why it was Morgan that was chosen. Okay, so if you remember back in season 3, the episode called Clear, where we finally get to see Morgan again after a really long time, when Rick and Morgan first talk, and Morgan is really out of it, Rick is like, "Do you know who I am?" And Morgan says, "People wearing dead people's faces." He doesn't say your face. People wearing dead people's faces. Now, you could just take that to mean that he feels like he doesn't that Rick's not really there, and that he just feels like he's seeing like the ghost of Rick, like he sees Rick as a zombie. I guess you could say that. I think people wearing dead people's faces. But see, when you listen to him say that, I don't really feel like that makes much sense, even in the state that he's in. Like, that he's really that confused. People. Okay, so first off, he said people, not like walkers, not like zombies, not like however you want to put them. People wearing dead people's faces. So to me, that doesn't sound like a ghost or anything like that. And this could be, pretty much a throwaway line that could just be nothing. Because when this aired, when Clear aired, the Whisperers weren't a thing. But knowing Robert Kirkman, you have to figure he's had a plan a long time in advance, and I think he probably knew about the Whisperers, what he was going to do in the comic for a really long time. Maybe he didn't, but a lot of these people have like Bibles and outlines and things that they do far in advance, so that they never they don't get too far behind. Always plan for the future. And once you had the TV show and everything and just being successful, you wanted to see where else you could go with it. So my theory is, if you take it to mean that Morgan literally meant people wearing dead people's faces, he just kind of had woken up, right? They had knocked him out in Clear, and he had just woken up, and in that dazed state, seeing somebody that he used to know. Could he have been talking about the Whisperers? And my theory is that since Morgan's the crossover character, somehow he gets down, we already know they're filming in Austin, Texas, so the Morgan character somehow meets up with the group of people that are in Fear the Walking Dead. And I don't think I've talked about it on any of my reviews for The Walking Dead, and I don't really watch Fear the Walking Dead that much. I managed to somehow get through the first season, which I just did not like pretty much at all. I liked a couple of the characters, but for the most part, and I've gotten through a good chunk of season 2, and I haven't seen any of season 3. I watch D's reviews of Fear the Walking Dead. He's another YouTuber you should check out. I watch that so I can just kind of get to know what Fear the Walking Dead is about, just in case something comes up that might be interesting that could factor into something with The Walking Dead. And with what I've seen from the show myself and what he's talked about in his reviews, I really do feel like, in some form or another, the Fear the Walking Dead is going to become, like, the main girl, I believe, Madison, is going to become a person, the Whispers. Like I said, this is spoilers for the comic, so yeah, I'm going to talk about some of that stuff. So if you don't want to know spoilers from the, like, aspects of the Whisperers to come, don't listen to this theory. If you're a comic book fan, though, and you've read and caught up, and you also watch the show or whatever, you might want to be paying attention or whatever. So, because it's been my theory that Madison is Alpha. Now, I don't know how many people, if any, besides her in the Fear the Walking Dead show will survive based on the comics. They could change it a lot so that more than just her survives to become the Whisperers, but with a lot of those characters always covering themselves up in blood and being very comfortable with the whole guts and, it's not that much of a step further for them, I think. I mean, it's insane, but it's not much bigger of a step for them to somehow become the Whisperers by the end of it. That everything they go through, everything damaging, could lead them to become, or at least some of them, or at least Madison as far as I'm concerned, to create the Whisperers. And I feel like what would be cool about Morgan's character is that somewhere in between, when he comes back to Walking Dead and when we left him in Clear, well, before Clear, see, here's that other thing, is it would have to be because this happened in between when Morgan and Rick hadn't seen each other. Now, you might think that's not enough time. So, potentially it could have been just a throwaway line for later, something to just throw out. And if what takes place is between Clear and when he comes back. And that maybe that line means nothing, or maybe it was just kind of a line to throw in there for foreshadowing for people that really pay attention. But either way, I feel like Morgan could be the character who he meets up with them, and whatever happens there screws with his head so badly. That's one of the reasons why he has a hard time with this, still going back and forth with Clear and not Clear. That's just my theory. It could be nothing, but I feel like there's got to be some major reason why Morgan. It has to connect somehow, and I feel like that's the only way. And I may not be right about all the details, but I do really feel like in some aspect, Morgan will be our link to the Whisperers. So, like I said, it's just a theory. So, that was all. That's this video. If you like it, please hit like. Please subscribe. I would love it. We actually did hit 30 subscribers, so let's keep that going. That'd be really great. Let's see if we can get to 35 before December, maybe. Or, before the end of the year. Let's get to 35. I'm not asking for that's 5 people. We only need 5 people to do 35. So anyway, comments. What do you think about this? Do you think I'm full of shit? Do you think I'm reaching too far? Or do you think maybe I got something here? Anyway, that's it. Let's see, more videos to come. I've got a Punisher video coming later tonight. Mr. Robot on Wednesdays. Let's see, it looks like, Friday we got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Runaways. So catch all those videos, plus my new thing that I have on my channel. If you go to my channel, you look it up. It's the Waited for Blu-ray. I've reviewed Hitman's Bodyguard and Good Time. So check those out if you want. And until then, we will see you next time. Have a great night. Bye.